Hello, Lions. My name is past District Governor Wendy Kane from Knoxville, Tennessee, USA, and it is my honor to serve as the moderator for today's Lions virtual classroom on social media and Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. Wow, that's a big picture of my mug. We'll get that page turned pretty quickly here. If you are like me, you have a Facebook account and maybe a Twitter and or an Instagram account, but you know you aren't using it as well as you could be to share your Lions activities and projects. That's one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to today's classroom for some information and suggestions on how to use social media more effectively and with greater impact for our Lions. Before we get started, though, I do have just a couple of announcements. First, be ready to take some notes. This classroom will only be successful if you do something with your ideas and inspiration. Don't worry about missing anything. The program is being recorded and it will be available on the Lions Virtual Symposium YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe. It's free and you will get notified of live events and premieres, including when the three components from tonight's classroom will be published. And you can see that they're going to be spaced out over the next 3 weeks or through the course of the month until the next virtual event. Next, if you are logged in through Zoom, please use the Q&A area to post any questions that you may have. Take a moment to find that Q&A feature now. Do not use the chat feature because it scrolls too quickly with a lot of random comments and your questions are likely to get overlooked there. We will invite our presenters back for a single Q&A session at the conclusion of the three presentations, so ask your questions as you think of them. For our support team and the presenters to serve you and to make sure that your questions get answered, the Q&A area is the place to be. All right, with the announcements out of the way, let's jump right in. First up is Vice District Governor Brianne Moore from Payson, Utah, USA. And Vice District Governor Brianne is a member of the Payson Lions Club. Lion Brianne is the first Vice District Governor of District 28T and a member of the Young Lions Task Force. When she isn't working a Lions project, you can find her with her family and friends doing a variety of activities. To share some basics of getting started with Facebook, welcome Vice District Governor Brianne.
Hello Lions, I am Vice District Governor Brianne Moore from the District 28T. I am so excited and honored to take part of this new adventure with the Lions universe. This will be the first part for the Facebook Classroom series. Today we're going to go over how to create and when to use Facebook events, groups, and pages. There's a lot of content that we're going to have to go through, so I'm going to try to keep it as straightforward and within a timely manner as possible. Before we get into all of that, I do want to say a thank you to each and every one of you who's watching this right now. It truly means a lot to me to see so many Lions being willing to take a moment out of their day to learn something new, to become a better person, to become a better Lion. You guys truly are so incredible and I am so proud. Keep going on it. Now, for some people, social media is easy. It's something that comes naturally for them and they don't really have to worry about it. For others, though, it can be very daunting, overwhelming, confusing, and that's okay. All it takes is a little bit of practice and for somebody to go through who's there for you, answer questions, show you the step by step. Hopefully, this video will be able to take part of that process for you. So when you're thinking of different social medias and of Facebook, please make sure you're looking at it as Facebook and not as a problem book. Now, as an international organization, we're going to want to make sure that we know how to get our international logo. Social media is all about promoting your own brand. That is one of the main purposes of it. So we want to make sure that our brand is getting out there in the proper way, the official way. On the screen, I have the website that takes you directly to the different logos and emblems for Lions International. However, I would like to show you what it's like to go step by step from the Lions Club website. So here we are at the lionsclub.org website. You're going to go to resources. From there, you're going to go to brand guidelines. At that point, you're going to scroll down almost to the bottom where it has download, logos, and emblems. Now on here, Lions International has been able to put together all of the official logos that we have. You have the emblem, the signatures, LCIF, Leo Lions, all of the different organizations that we're going to sponsor, even some of the older ones. Now you're going to notice that on each of the different styles, you have 3 options to pick from: EPS, JPEG, and a PNG. I'll get to what each of those mean and where you can use them on the next portion. However, once you decide what style you want, you're going to want to be able to download it. So right below the different styles, you're just going to click the name of what file format you want. From there, it should download straight to your computer, and generally it ends up within your downloads file. Now for each of the different file formats, there's 2 of them that you're mostly going to be using for an online format. The first one is the JPEG. That's the most common, it's the easiest one to use. Overall, you use it mostly as its own individual picture. It has a solid white background most of the time. Sometimes you may even see it with a black or a gray background. But it's one that's easily transferable and overall used. The PNG, that one is more for when you get more technical and creative with all of your content. It has a transparent background, so you're able to apply it to different media sources that you have, say an online flyer. That way, whatever color is on the background and on the base of that file is going to show behind the logo. The EPS and the vector, those are meant for more physical projects. You're going to want that to be put on more of a handbook or shirt, hat, things along those lines. Unless you're more familiar or comfortable with that, I suggest having a professional deal with it more. Something that is very important about the logo is making sure that we're not editing it directly. I know it may be tempting at times to go through and add your own club's name in where it says international, maybe even Photoshop a picture of a real lion instead of the logo lions that's on there. Don't do it. I won't even get into all of the legality of why you shouldn't do that, but just from a marketing perspective, make sure that you're sticking with the logos that are the official logos. One, we are an international organization and we want to make sure that everybody knows that we are united in our cause. This is a way that we can brand and really promote what we're doing. Secondly, for people my age especially, we are very attuned to the different logos. So if we see a logo or a brand that's off, that's been adjusted, that is an instant red flag that this particular group or these certain people aren't with the official organization. You're going to come across as a bit more fake, more of a copycat, and less trustworthy. So overall, please make sure that you are using the official logos for all of your promotions and all of your content. Now from here, I'm going to be switching back and forth between my personal Facebook page so that we can do a step-by-step on how to create pages and kind of what you're seeing along with the events and the groups. But for now, on this page, what is a page? Pages are generally managed the same as your personal profile. The only difference is that they're generally public by default and they're ran by administrators. All of the content is done by an administrator, the sharing, the commenting, all of that stuff. It's used and designed mainly for businesses, brands, public figures. That's why celebrities and politicians love it so much. It's for the fact that they can have multiple people helping them, And they also have it as a public profile, so they don't have to worry about going through and adding individual people as their friends in order to promote their own content. People who want to see it can just go on and click follow, and they're instantly promoting it. Now, it's very important that I want to point out, make sure that when you're adding admins to your page, your group, or your event, that you have at least 3 of them. Nobody hates it more than when you have this great page and there's only one person in charge of it. And then that person moves away, has a falling out, loses the password. There's a whole number of things that could go wrong, and instantly you may lose or forget about that page. So please make sure that you have multiple options of people who are helping you stay connected to your information, and it also helps spread out some of the responsibility so that you can have a better managed profile. So we're going to switch over to my Facebook page. We are gonna put together our own page. All right, so we are obviously on on my personal page. Up on the top bar, you're gonna find a button that says Create. If you don't have it there, if the layout does not look like mine, that probably means that you're using the old format for Facebook. They are coming out with this newer one, and it's going to be the mandatory layout here pretty soon. They're starting to close down on all of the older accounts, so if you haven't already switched over, I highly suggest you do. That way we can all stay on the same path as well. So you're going to click the Create button, come down to Page, and from here, let's create a public figure page. We'll use me for an example just to keep it nice and easy. So we'll do VDG Brianne Moore. Now, if you're creating this for, say, a business, you can easily come in here to the category option, put in if it's a restaurant, put in anything. Me personally, our family owns a heating and air conditioning company, so I can easily type in and have that for our business profile. Most of the time, though, for us Lions, it's going to be a nonprofit organization. Make sure when you're filling all of this out, you're putting in as much information as you can. We want to come across to everybody that we are transparent and that we have the answers that they may be looking for. We don't want them to question how vague we are and have everything very unclear and confusing. So in the description, I'm going to keep mine nice and easy just for time's sake and put Vice District Governor for Southern Utah Lions. All right, once you have your description filled out, you're going to go right below it to where it says Create Page. Sometimes you have to practice your patience virtue when it comes to online stuff. Once that's all been approved, you're going to come down and click Create Page. Wait for it to load. Once that happens, you can start adding all of your profile pictures to it. So we're going to click Add Profile Pic. It should come up with a downloaded file or anything that's already on your computer. For me, I already have pictures on here, so I'm going to select this one. I would also highly suggest that you put in a cover photo. It's not always mandatory, but it does make your profile look a little bit more complete. So for now, we're going to use the Lions logo. And now that we're going to click Save. And there you have it. You have your base of your page. So from here, from the front page, you can go through and you can start to invite all of your friends to it, whoever you really want. But we are going to focus on the admins for a moment. So we're going to come over to the left-hand side where it says Manage Page. You're going to scroll down to where it says Settings. From there, you're going to scroll just a little bit and go to Page Roles. We are going to assign a new page role. Sometimes it takes just a second for it to pop up. All right, now underneath the assign a new page role, you're going to go through and you're going to type in who you want for your admins. So for now, I'm going to click my mom. Make sure that on the right-hand side where it says editor, you're going to click that to where it's a drop-down menu. From there, click admin and add. You're going to have to re-put in your password, so please make sure you do have that handy. And there you go. Now we can just wait until she accepts that invitation, and then me and her will be on the same management level when it comes to this particular page. Again, please make sure that you're putting in at least 3 people when you're doing the pages. There's so much more that you could be focused on when it comes to pages. We could honestly spend an hour going over each and every setting that you can put into this. There's different age restrictions, make sure that you have a profanity filter, all sorts of different things, how you message, who it goes to. You could honestly get lost in all of the different stuff. But for now, that's what we're going to stick it with on just how to create that page. So now we're going to move on to groups. So in a group, it's managed more by community. So in the same way that Facebook, you're able to all just go on there, share whatever you would like. A group is like a Facebook within a Facebook. People can go on there, share whatever they would like, comment on each other's posts, anything along those lines. The only difference is it's going to be more of a gathering place for common causes, interests, organizations. You still want to make sure that you have at least 3 admins. I'm going to continue to repeat that because it is very important. Make sure that you have enough admins to help monitor and manage the groups, especially when it comes to these. Because once you start to get a bigger following, you're going to want those admins to kind of take charge and make sure that nobody is getting harassed in certain ways or anyone's posting political views. I know that now is the time and age that everybody wants to be talking politics, but as a Alliance organization, we need to make sure that we're keeping that portion of the conversation out of what we're trying to serve and accomplish. And it is tempting, but please make sure that you are focused on the task. Members can either join by the approval of admins, or they can join by any other member adding them to it. But it does create a little bit more of a process to join a group as compared to just liking and following a page. So we're going to go back to Facebook and go through on how to create a page or a group, apologies. So from here, you can either start from where we left off, which was on our Vice District Governor page. You can go back to your main page, or just on this top bar right here, you're going to come back to the Create button. So once the Create button drops down the list, you're going to come down to Group. From here, again, cover photos are optional, but highly recommended. So for this one, I really enjoy baking, and I figured I would do something a little bit different from the standard Lions. So we are going to actually name this group Brienne's Cake and Pies, because why not? Might as well have fun with it, right? All right, so for the Brienne's Cake and Pies, we can choose a privacy. For me, it honestly depends on what you're going to want to choose. If it's for a certain committee, you may want to make it private so that you have a little bit more of freedom to talk about certain issues that may have happened in meetings or just anything along those lines. For the public, though, I would highly suggest that for your own personal club, for the sense that you want the community to feel like they have a say in what's going on and they're able to see what you're doing, what you're accomplishing, and hopefully gain a few members from that as well. So we're going to click public on that one. Again, you can invite friends to this. We're going to go through, invite her. Once you're done with that, you're going to click create. From there, we're going to add a description. So in the description, please put as much information as you can in there. Make sure that it is, don't go overboard listing everybody's names or anything like that, but make sure that your information's out there and that it's clear and concise. For this one though, we're going to keep it really easy. I love cake. I love pie. How about you? And then we're going to save. So that's the basic setup for how to create a group. Facebook does like to keep it fairly user-friendly nowadays. So once you click the continue setup, on the left-hand side, it's pretty basic when it comes to the same thing for pages and groups. You're still going to have an area for different settings to help kind of monitor things. They have different post topics. I could spend a long time just going through the different settings and options that the groups give you. But for now, I want to talk about how to add admins to this. It's a little bit different than compared to the page where I could just go on and send out a simple invite. For this one, you're going to want to go to the members tag on here. You're going to scroll down, and luckily for me, my mom knew that I was going to be doing this, and so she already accepted my invite that I just sent to her. So she is in my friends list right now. And you're going to click these three buttons right here, make admin, send invite. Again, please make sure you have at least 3 admins for this. Another really cool feature is in this membership layout right here, you can scroll down to the bottom and they have a new to the group portion. This will become essential when it comes to reaching out to your members. If you have a new member join your Facebook group, please make sure that you're sending out comments to them. You're asking how they're doing. If it's somebody you've never met, ask them what made them join, anything like that. Try to make a connection with the new members that are on here. It's very important when it comes to making them feel like it's important to be there and that they are actually wanted. In the discussion portion, that's where you can add in photos, tag people's, all sorts of stuff. I'll do a quick brag moment. That was one of my pies, so that was the first one that we put on there. That is the basic layout of how to put a group together. Now, how about if you've already created a group or you've already created a page, but it's not quite what you wanted? You wish you would have done the page or the group instead. Unfortunately, if you have a group, there's no way to merge it into being a page, which for me, I personally like the groups better, so it's kind of a win for me. If you already have a page, but you would like it to become a group, you can't merge it, but you can connect them. You can link them together. So what we're going to do is walk you through that process. We're going to go back to the page that we just created for me. So the first Vice District Governor, Brianne Moore, I just went up to the search bar for that one. You can either do that and click on it, or up here, there's these little icons. So you have your groups, which is on the far right side, and you have your pages, which is the second from the left side. So we're going to click pages. We're going to scroll down to my first VDG. And from here, we're going to click the More button, which is right by the photos and next to the Promote. You're going to click Groups. From there, you can either link a group or you could create a linked group. So we're going to create a linked group this time. As a VDG, you know that you're always going to need support from those around you and from those afar. So we're going to create a Brienne's support group. And we might as well keep it public as well. From there, we're going to create. And there you have it. It shows as the manager of, or the admin for this group is the page that I created before. Like I said, pages and personal profiles are very similar in some of the things that they can accomplish. So it's already set up. I can go through, I can edit and add my own picture for the cover photo. I can write my own posts. I can add members to it just in the same way that we were able to add members to my cakes and pies page. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Sometimes you have to adjust those pictures or else they're going to look a little funny. All right, now from there, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. So which one is going to be right for you? Which one do you need? It all depends on what you're going for. Personally, I believe that groups are better suited for districts, clubs, committees, causes. Something that you're going to want everybody to feel is a part of it. Something that they can all come together and have their voices heard. Pages, I would suggest, is more for businesses, high-profile positions such as district governor or international director. Something that they are promoting more of themselves, more of that particular company or that position in its own. Now on to events. Hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more in-person events, but for now we can just kind of focus on how to create them on Facebook. Again, please make sure that your admins are between 2 to 3. They are created by either a page or a person. They are an area that you can put all of your updates, more of your specific information, such as time, location, any sort of changes. Members who are invited to it can also accept the invite, so you can tell who's going to be able to go. It has its own RSVP system set up within it. So in order to do an event, we're going to come back over here. Same thing, we're going to go up to this top bar, click Create, come down to Event, and you have the option of it being an online event or an in-person event. For this one, I'm just going to do an in-person one, and I'll show you another way to do the online one in a little bit. I'm going to go back because I did forget to do one thing. Event. So on the left-hand side, before you click the online or in-person, you have a drop-down menu for who you want to host it. So you have your own personal profile, or you can even go to your page. You can have your page itself be the host. When you do pages, though, as you can tell, it only gives you the in-person option, whereas an personal profile, you're able to do the online or the in-person. So we're going to click in-person, event name. Everybody loves to go to a pancake breakfast. It's a staple of the Lions community. We're going to switch the day to Saturday. Say at 8:15 in the morning. We'll put an end date so that we don't have people that are straggling behind and miss their pancakes. Put at 11:30. You can make it a reoccurring event. So this is also a great tool if you are starting to do online meetings, or you just want to remind all of your members about your monthly meetings once it's safe for all of us to meet together again. So you can go through here, click reoccurring. You can have it weekly, you can have it custom. Whatever it is that is going to best suit for your club. Add your times. Make sure that you click done and save it. This time we're not going to save it. It's automatically on a public privacy for the fact that it was the page who made it, and pages are always public by default. Please remember that. Description, remember as much information as you can. Get them. Get those stacks while they last. Hopefully you put in more information and a little bit more grammatically correct than I just did. Categories. Categories, it's more into it's more generic as compared to when you were trying to figure out your category for your group. So for this one, it's going to be pretty easy. Most of the time you might use causes, or you might go down to drinks, fitness. This time it's going to be food. You're going to click next, which is right below it. Location, always make sure you're putting in your location. For here, we are just going to give it pace and city. And that also is a great trick so that it puts in your time zone. Make sure you're putting in a cover photo as well. For this one, we are just going to be using the Lions logo. If there is an admission, if you're able to sell tickets online for whatever the event is, you can obviously put that in there as well. But if not, you're just going to come down to the create event. Wait for it to load. And there you have it. You can go through this discussion portion. You make sure that you put in add a post. So you can put serving them hot right now. Eat up and post. So it's all one location that if people have questions or concerns, they can go directly to the event instead of having to scroll through all of the general feed that might be in your own personal profile or done within the group. You're able to also see, when you go to the About page, you can see how many people have been able to respond to it, how many it's reached, and adjust anything that you want. If you do have more than one page, you can also click over here and it'll show, I can now click on this. And because my personal profile was not the one that created it, you're seeing it more as how other people you've invited would see it. So when they click on the invite that you've had, they can easily put if they're interested in going, if they're going, if they want to invite other people, nice little map, all of the information. And that's how you create, again, much like the other ones, there's other things that you could be focused on with it, more settings that you could put into there to make it more personalized. For now, I just want to make sure that you guys all got the basics on how to create them and when the best time is to use them. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. I can't say it enough. You guys are incredible. I'm so excited to see everything that you guys all accomplish with the pages, the groups, and the event. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me either through my email, on Facebook, obviously, through Instagram if you're being adventurous, or my own personal goal is to get better at using My Lion. It's something that, much like many of you may struggle with Facebook, I definitely need to get better at My Lion. So to help motivate me, please add me on there. Let's start using that one as well. I hope this worked out for you, and I hope you enjoyed the other presentations. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice District Governor Brienne. Those were some great tips and suggestions. And as a reminder to our participants, please put any questions that you have in the Q&A feature, and Lion Brienne will answer some of them if they're quick and easy or maybe very specific during the session here. And otherwise, we will bring back Lion Brienne with our other presenters to help address topics or questions later in the program. Next up is Lion Brian McKay from Verona, Wisconsin, USA. Brian is a third generation Lion and a member of the Verona Lions Club since 2009. He serves as his club's social media director and also his district's social media coordinator. Outside of Lionism, Brian referees US and NCAA soccer. To help us learn how to promote our club on Facebook and support our service, welcome Lion Brian.
Facebook and social media as a whole can play a large part in recruiting new members. One instance for our club is the recruiting of a new member who joined us just because of our social media presence. This new member was actually the daughter of a current Lion, but didn't want to join her father's club because she wanted to have her own Lion personality. She wanted to not be just John's daughter. She wanted to have her own role within Lions. So she started looking at other area clubs and looked at their social media presence to see which one would best fit her and her personality. She ended up selecting our club because of all of the projects that we had been posting to Facebook and showing off to the community to let them know how active we were and the types of projects that we were active with. So we gained a member just from having a deep presence across all of the social media communities. Promotion of your social media can also play a big part in your community services. We use the example of a Breakfast with Santa event that we do each December. This involves bringing in children to meet with Santa. We do free snacks, and we also do free vision screenings as part of this event. We promote this event across all of our social media platforms, across our website, and we also do it in the traditional methods. It gets posted to the Chamber of Commerce. It gets posted on flyers that are posted throughout town in places like grocery stores and banks and pharmacies. And we also post notices within the local newspapers. So we go across all spectrums in promotion of this event. This event grew from the first year of having 20 children attend to now having over 100 children attend in just a few years. When we ask where people heard about this event, the overwhelming response is social media. Nearly all of those come from Facebook. So of our 95% people that respond with social media, 90% respond that they heard about this event through Facebook. And it's not always from our Facebook page. Sometimes it's from a shared page where one of our members posted this event into a community group within Facebook. So this can spread like wildfire, and having a presence for your events and for your community service projects can be key to recruiting new members and key to bringing in people to these events. Today, our primary focus will be looking at Facebook. We'll also touch on integrating other social media platforms. One of the things that we always stress with Facebook is how many viewers we see with Facebook. When you look at this picture, you see two images from St. Peter's Square during the announcement of Pope Benedict in 2005, and then the bottom picture showing Pope Francis in 2013. It speaks volumes about the changes the world is experiencing today in regards to technology. It's not as if the people outside the Vatican in 2005 didn't have technology on them or gadgets on them. Many were taking photos and certainly had digital cameras and certainly had cell phones. But when you see the surge of mobile devices and how capturing key moments in life digitally has become increasingly important, not only for personal memories, but also just for influencing and sharing through social media. And this is one of the ways that we can really push as Lions clubs to broaden our reach. Social media itself has changed. When I joined Facebook in 2005 as a senior in college, at the time it was only for college students, and you had to have a .edu address to be approved to even join Facebook. Now Facebook is around the world, and when you look at the reach of Facebook, the numbers say it all. So why Facebook? As you can see from the statistics listed, Facebook hits the majority of our target audience and our current members. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, they're all feasible, but they'll also skew much younger. Also, for the majority of our clubs, Twitter engagement is difficult because of half-life of posts, meaning how long they're visible to people is much smaller than Facebook. So when you see our numbers, 72% of all internet users active on social media, and nearly all of those social media users have Facebook, this is why our presentations and our usage within the clubs are so important. So what is it that people want to see from your Facebook page? They want to see what you're doing in the community, how you're serving. What are you up to? These are the action shots, the live look-ins to how your club is staying active. The board meetings and things like that probably aren't of much interest to the community as a whole, but showing the work that you're doing in the community is what's going to catch their eye, catch their attention, and have them start asking questions and wanting to know more. So when do you want to post? This is taken from our club's insights. You can find more information than you'll ever need when you look on the left side of the menu page on your Facebook page's home screen. What you'll notice is our audience is most active between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., which is pretty typical. When you dive deeper into it, you can see the peak times of morning before work, lunchtime, and right after work. When you click on Insights from your page, on the left side, you will see more information than you can probably use. You can see the total clicks, when people are responding to your page, whether they're following links, whether they're clicking on pictures. All of this information is available to you and will help you build your audience. And Richard will dive deeper into these strategies within his presentation. How do we get interaction? Involve your club members. This isn't just a one-person job. You're looking at multiple administrators, and you're also looking at the buy-in from your club. The club's interactions spread to their social circles and their larger networks. When I look at our club, we have two very active members that do multiple fundraising efforts through other partner organizations. And when they start spreading the word, we end up with 4 times the number of interactions and post hits that go to the news feeds of these people. So you end up, instead of 200 views on an item, you end up with 800 to 1,000 views just because of interactions with some of your more involved and more popular members. Part of this is creating a network of likes. Anytime you post about an event, a donation, make sure your group and your businesses are involved. It adds a whole new network to your posts. When you look at the picture on this slide, you're seeing 3 different organizations that we have interacted with for a Stuff the Bus campaign. And we want to make sure that all of them are recognized. So within the picture, we are tagging Verona Chiropractic, we're tagging Badger Bus Lines, and we're tagging the Sugar River Methodist Church, because all of them played a part in this fundraiser and in this service activity. And when we include them in the circle, now their members, now their fans are aware and involved as well. You'll see a lot of information from social media experts that will talk about the type of content you should be posting, the specific ratio of shares, and all of these buzzwords and ways to build your page. We work a little bit differently because each of our clubs are so different. And what we look for is a sweet spot. For those clubs that are more active and have a larger following, more posts are a good thing. If you are overwhelming your news feed with content that doesn't really apply to them, you have a possibility of them snoozing you or unfollowing you. And this is where the insights can come in handy and let you track who's paying attention to your page. So find your sweet spot. It isn't about having 4 posts a day or 1 post a day or 1 post a week. It's about what works for you and for your club. One of the other things that could come in handy are live updates. When you have one of your members available to take over administrative duties for the Facebook page, when you're out for a fundraiser or you're out for a service activity, you can do live video. Find somebody who has a camera that is a little bit better quality and can capture the moment and just do little clips of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how long you're out there. Give them the information so that they can come out and visit you during a fundraiser or during a service activity. And this is something that can stay on the page and even create visibility afterwards. One of the other ways to build your audience and to get your page started is to interconnect with all of your other resources. For us, we have a club website, we have an Instagram account, we have a Twitter account, but we also want to link with the Chamber of Commerce. We want to link with our district. We want to link with our state Facebook pages. And we've actually interconnected with all of our nearby club pages. So all of those activities will show up in our pages newsfeed activities, and makes it much easier for us to coordinate and interact with each other. And something as simple as clicking on a club website, you can see right away, we make it very prominent where you can find us, where you can follow us. So everything loops back to the Facebook page, loops back to the website, loops back to Instagram. So all of these things are interconnected. Finally, one of the most helpful pieces of managing your Facebook page is going to be Pages Manager, or now, of course, as Facebook constantly changes, Business Suite. Using this app specifically gears your administrator to interacting with the page. So being able to post content without having to switch roles from personal role or from another community's page, that you can just click and go. You won't have to receive these notifications from your personal page and have things kind of cross-contaminate. Instead, you are able to control your Instagram account, control your Facebook account, and answer messages all within this app.
Thank you so much, Lion Brian, for some great ways to promote our club activities. Again, as a reminder, put any questions you have in the Q&A feature, and we'll also bring Lion Brian back to help address them after our next topic. So our last presenter for this classroom is Lion Richard Stevenson from Tucson, Arizona. Lion Richard is a retired financial executive who serves as president of the South Tucson Cyber Lions Club. He's also co-founder of the Global Lions Forum Facebook group. To help us learn how to build a community with Facebook, welcome Lion Richard.
Hello, Lions. Let's get visible. Let's get visible on Facebook. My name is Lion Richard Stevenson, and I'm with the South Tucson Cyber Lions Club. And today I'd like to talk to you about how to get your club Facebook page more visible in your community. This is our club Facebook page. And why do we want to become more visible? And the answer is we want to attract clients and partners, donors, and the $ follows the donors, volunteers and new Lions. And we want to be visible so they can see us because we want them to join us and support us and be partners with us. This is our club Facebook page. And as you can see from the bottom, we have almost 8,000 followers, the vast majority from our local community. And at the top, just as a point of reference, you can see that we reached almost 3,400 people in the last 28 days and had almost 1,700 post engagements. And that tells us that we're visible in our community and people are seeing it. First of all, nothing's going to happen without a plan. The best ideas, the best programs aren't going to be taken to fruition without a plan. What is a plan? A plan defines our target market. And who is our target market? They're the people we want to attract to our page. For our club, we're doing work with children in our local community. So our target market is going to be schools and principals, administrators, parents, and people in the nursing area, healthcare, people who deal with kids. A plan is in writing. In order to be in writing, then you can keep it and you can all be in agreement as to what it says. A plan has goals. And in our case, we've said we want to reach so many people in a certain time period. We want to recruit so many new members. We want to find so many new children to vision screen. Those are the goals that we've laid down for our club page. We want our plan to be approved by the club because we want the entire club invested in the program and we're all in agreement as to what we're doing and why we're doing it. A plan needs a champion. In this case, I'm the champion for our club's Facebook page, easily found. I think probably some of you might end up being champions. And that's the person who's going to bring everybody together and make sure it happens. And lastly, a plan needs to be flexible because as things change, such as COVID, we need to be able to adjust. The first thing our page needs to be is attractive. We want to create a masterpiece. It may not be an old master's masterpiece, but it's going to be a masterpiece page for a Lions Club in our community. We want to start by setting it up correctly. We don't want to do it as a profile, and we don't want to do it as a group. We want to do it as a page, and we want to aim it at our target market. So what's in there and the way we post things is aimed at the people we want to go after. It has to be attractive, and that means that we want quality photographs, they're in focus, and it's professional as well. So we may not be professional people who deal with marketing on a full-time basis, but we can make sure everything is clean and looks good. The first thing anyone's going to see on your Facebook page is the cover photo, and it's going to make the first impression. This is a cover photo we've used on our page for a long period of time. This happens to be our vision screening team that screened over 100,000 kids. And it was taken and posed by a school photographer in order to take a picture for the school district. And as you can see, we're attempting to look professional. We've all got our yellow jackets on and we're all smiling, and we've got a big sign that engages people and creates passion for what it is we're doing. And the apple means that we're serving teachers and kids. So make the first impression the best one you can with the best photo you can. Your Facebook page will have a profile. That's the little box to the bottom left of the top. And you should put in the Lions logo in there. And there is a correct Lions logo. You can get it from LCI, the LCI webpage, and I recommend you use that one for that box because that tells people who you are. We're a member of the International Lions Clubs. You want to have great content. This young lady happens to be the queen of the cachorros of the Nova Era Lions Club in Mexico City. And she's a cute little doll, and you put that photo up and people are going to want to look at it. So have one great photo. Every time you post, have one great photo. More than one creates confusion. One great photo is going to grab people's attention. Aim it at your target market. If I put this on my page and my target market are teachers and parents, this is going to grab their attention. Quality. That's a good photo. It's in focus, the lighting is well, and it's posed well. And I recommend club created posts. Some clubs put up memes and a lot of LCI stuff, which is great, but people in your community are going to want to see what your club is doing, and club created posts are the best ones because it speaks to what you're doing in your community. Make them smile. There's no reason you should have a picture of a lion with a frown on their face. These are two of the best smiles I've ever taken, and every time I get a lion and I'm getting ready to take a picture, I always say, okay, now look this way, make sure you're all well adjusted and everything. And then I go, ha, 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 ha. And that makes people smile. And you want to have photos with people smiling on your pictures. Now that we've got good content, we want to be easy to find. I recommend a domain name for your club. Ours is STLC We Serve. That's South Tucson Lions Club We Serve. It's easy to remember, and it's hard to forget. Going around telling people to use www // is really hard. Have a domain name. And we got ours from GoDaddy, and I assume there's other places you can get them for 20 bucks a year. So it's worth the money. All you need to do is go to Google and put in STLC We Serve, and it'll drop you right into our Facebook page. And you can also use that domain name for other social media as well. I draw your attention to this photograph. It's a photo I took while we were vision screening one day, and it was featured in Lion magazine. It's the kind of photo that grabs people's attention and makes them want to read what it is you're saying in the post. Put your name on everything. We were out vision screening one day, and I pulled out our banner, and at the bottom right-hand corner of our banner, it says STLC We Serve with the Facebook logo. So when people see this photograph or they saw our sign or whatever, they can just type that into their phone and they're going to be dropped right into our Facebook page. I'll repeat myself. Put it on everything. You can arrange your email signature so it's always there. There's always a link and someone can just click it and see the page. Stick it on your business cards. Posters, flyers, signs, shirts, clothing, everywhere. Make sure it's easy to find, easy to see. Post the link on your website so that when people are looking at your website, they can immediately go to your Facebook page. And another topic for another day, but link your social media together so that you can go from one to the other. Oh, by the way, that photograph, also featured in Lion magazine, was one of me vision screening one day. And look at the kids in that. Boy, that really grabs attention. Now we want to increase our audience. We want more people to see the posts that we're putting up that have really great content. So we want to increase the audience, and we're going to do that by making friends on Facebook and then converting those friends to followers of our club page. We're going to make Facebook friends by taking our profile. That's our personal page. And we're going to go out and seek people in our community and ask them to become friends with us. And so how do we do that? Well, first thing we want to do is have a friendly profile. We want to make sure that our profile doesn't have controversial or strongly worded messages. It's kind of a friendly place. I'm just a good Lions guy. And have it say Lions. I've got a picture of myself in a Lions vest, and I've got pictures of our service on our page. And I'm going to go looking for people who I want to follow our club page. That's my target market. And I'm going to request their friendship on Facebook. Then once I have their friendship, I'm going to invite them to like our club page. Here's an example. We serve the Sunnyside Unified School District, and this is their board, their school board. And so I go to the internet, I find the Sunnyside Unified School District School Board, and I see who's on it. And I see the president is a gentleman by the name of Buck Crouch. And I say, I want him to be my friend on Facebook. So now I'm going to go look for Buck Crouch. And I was able to find Buck, and here he is with his lovely wife, Ada. And I was able to find him easily enough. And you'll notice where the arrow's pointing, that's the Make Friend logo. You just go down there and click, and it will request him to accept friendship with me. And then once he accepts my friendship, we're friends. Once you have friends on Facebook, your personal friends, you can go to your club page and request that they become followers of your club page. This is my club page, and you'll notice the first thing I'm going to do is to go to the 3 dots and click that, and a drop-down menu appears, and at the bottom it says Invite Friends. So I will click that. It will list all my friends, and my club page knows who my friends are because we're connected, and it will tell me whether or not they've liked the page or they haven't liked the page. So I'll see all my friends there, and I'm down in the section where they haven't liked the page yet. You'll also see some where they have liked, but this group hasn't liked it yet. And so I can click the boxes next to their name and then go down to the bottom left and click that. And that will allow me to type in a personal message. And then when I click send at the bottom, it'll go out. But my message might say, hi guys, this is Lion Richard from the South Tucson Lions Club. And I'd like you to like our club page and follow what we do in our community. Thank you very much. And they'll receive a notification on Facebook inviting them to follow our page. And some will do so and some will not. Here's our friend Buck again. And now I'm back on Buck's page, and I happen to go to his friends section, which he has allowed people to see. And I scroll down and I see a gentleman there by the name of Andy Townsend. And I notice immediately that we have 45 mutual friends. And I say, that must be a fellow that's involved in somehow in education in South Tucson, because that's where a lot of my friends are. And so I'm going to ask him to be a friend of mine as well. It so happens that in this photograph, we already are friends, as you can see just to the right. But had he not been, I would click that box and it would invite him to become my friend as well. So once you make friends, you can also find other potential friends within those friends. Now we're going to do cross-posting. Sierra 2 through 8 school is one of the schools where we serve, and they have over 2,000 parents following their Facebook page. They're a middle school with 1,000 students. We have mini grant program where teachers can tell us what they need and we will grant it. And this particular teacher said she needed English language arts materials and she needed $375. So we granted that and we sent her a check and we took a picture of it and posted it on our page and shared it over to the Sierra page. And here she is on the Sierra page. If you click on that, it'll take us right to our page. So we're able to use the Sierra page with their 2,000 followers to get people to click to get over to our page. The Elvira Elementary, this is one of the best pages I've ever seen. The principal manages this page and he probably posts 5 or 10 posts a day and they're just great. And it has over 2,400 followers. I show this post from their page just so you can see what a great post looks like. This is one that I want to read about this. I want to see what this young man is doing. And that's just an example of a great post. The art teacher in Elvira needed materials really quickly because COVID turned the world upside down. And all of the kids needed these materials to be able to do their learning at home. And so she contacted us and said, I need $300 for materials. And the next day we dropped by with a $300 check. And of course we took a picture of that event, but so did the school. And you'll notice the fellow in the red shirt there, you may recognize him. That was Andy from Buck's page. And he's the principal of that school. And he had that picture taken and posted it in the Elvira Facebook page for all of his 2,400 followers to see. You'll notice he also very graciously up at the top in the blue letters linked it to our page. So if you click that blue South Tucson Lions lettering there, it'll take you directly to our page. So we're using a school photo, but he links it to our page. Again, another opportunity to have people come over to our page and see the content. You'll notice this particular photo at the time I took it had 118 likes and 7 shares. So that's a pretty popular photo for a school page. And it's going out to all the parents, which are our target market. We have the option of paying Facebook to boost a photo. This is a photo I took of one of the nurses in a school where we do vision screening. And I decided to boost this photo. And I paid $10 for this. And as you can see, it reached almost 5,000 people and 642 people liked it. That's an amazing number of likes. And you don't see the verbiage there, but the verbiage was important to the likes as well. So the way you do a boost is to choose an effective post. And it has to be a good photo, it has to be a good post. Then, in this case, I spent $10, received 642 likes, was able to convert that to over 100 new followers. And these sometimes work, sometimes they don't. Try it and learn and adjust. And I wouldn't spend a lot of money on one ad. I would try it for a small amount and see what happens and then maybe adjust. So the way you do it, choose an effective post and click boost, like you see down in the bottom there. This happens to be the 3rd grade at Elvira Elementary. I liberated this photograph from their Facebook page and made it a post on our own page. And it's the 3rd grade team. And this is the grade that we give dictionaries to all the children. So I'm talking here about the dictionary project, and I'm going to boost that. When you boost a post, choose an effective post, choose your target market. In this case, the first arrow talks about going to people who already like our page and their friends. If you have been successful attracting your target market to your page, a very good place to find more people is the friends of those people. So that's a good box to check. There are other options like healthcare workers, nurses, school teachers, people in the community. There's options to choose from when you set that page up. So then you can choose the time to run. You want to run it for 5 days, 10 days. You can choose the amount. And obviously more money reaches more people. I tend to like to do $10 for 5 days and see how it goes and then change it up a little bit, maybe change the target market. Now, we've got all those likes out there for the posts. What are we going to do with those? We're going to convert those to page likes. And here you see a post, and the bottom of the post, it shows you that 6 people have liked this post. It's not a very popular post, but there's 6 people here that liked it. So, and I do this for every single post I put up. So when there's 6 or if there's 600, I still do the same kind of thing. And I click on that and it's going to show me who those 6 people are. You'll notice that Sheila and Pete have already liked our page, but there are 4 people in the middle who haven't liked our page yet. And I'm going to invite them by clicking the invite to like our page. They'll receive an invitation and they might very well accept it, in which case I've converted them to followers of the page. Facebook has insights information. There's far more information here than you're ever going to want to look at. And some of it is esoteric and hard to understand, but you can see which posts do well. You can see what time of day they do well. You can see how you're doing. You can compare one month to the next, one post to the next. And as you're trying to achieve goals that you put in your plan, this is a good place to set those kind of goals, so many followers, so many likes, and to check out how they're doing. So you can check out your history, see what works, and be prepared to adjust over time. Well, this is interesting. This is an interesting slide. At the bottom left is Buck and his lovely wife, Ada. You may recall them standing in front of the airplane. They're now members of our cyber club. And over to the right is our friend Andy, the principal of the Elvira School, and he is now a member of our cyber club. In the middle is me with Tiffany, who's the principal of Sierra. You may recall they're the one with 1,000 students. She just joined 2 weeks ago, and I just loaded her second new Lion that she joined today. So those people that we started out by just being friends on Facebook have now turned around and become members of our club. And at the end of the day, that's really part of what this is all about, is to attract more hands and more hearts to do more service. I'm available if anyone has questions or comments. Feel free to contact me. I'm on Facebook at the South Tucson Lions Club. That's STLC We Serve. Or at the Global Lions Forum Facebook group. I'm the administrator. And either one of those places, you'll find me by just making a message or a comment. Thank you so much for allowing me the chance to talk to you today. And I'd love to talk to you all more in the future. If you have a question, please contact me. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richard, for some innovative ways to find people who are interested in our activities and help them become friends of our pages and groups and things like that. Keep those questions coming in the Q&A feature, and I would like to ask Lions Brianne, Brian, and Richard to now join me on video, and we'll cover some of the questions that we've received. Lion Brian, we'll give you a chance to make yourself live. Oh, okay.
I'm attempting. Somebody closed mine out for me early on, so it won't let me start it up.
Okay. Well, I have maybe a question for you that we'll just have you answer verbally, if that's okay, as we get to it. First of all, I want to thank both Lions Brianne and Richard for bringing up the official Lions logo. The LCI brand, including the logo, changed way back in 2009. And there are still a lot of older Lions logos out there in use. So I think that's one action that we can all take to go back and look at our public materials, whether they be our business cards, brochures, websites, and Facebook pages, to make sure we're using the correct logo. So thank you both for pointing that out. Lion Brianne, a couple questions for you. When you shared your first example with the Facebook page, you did it with making a personal page for yourself. So can you maybe help some of our attendees understand the distinction between the personal Facebook account and a personal page that we might use either as an individual or a Lions Club?
Yeah, so your personal profile, you have to have that initially. That's, what most of us are working off of. When it comes to the page, though, the difference between them is you can have the administrators with it, and you can use it as your club's page as well, just so it's like as your club as a whole entity is posting and liking on different comments. Does that help kind of clarify it?
I think so. I think maybe when you started out and used an example as kind of a celebrity or a known entity with the VDG, making it a personal page, there maybe were some questions about that.
Yes.
But
so you can view it as almost like a business. You can also make the page in a business form. Yeah, your club could be a business.
And I think you do see some individuals with pages instead of personal profiles because of the limitation on the number of people that you can have as friends. You also had a great description between the groups and the pages. So can you maybe just give a short snapshot of the benefits of one versus the other? Or we're seeing some questions. Basically, I guess the question is, do our clubs need both a page and a group? Or what would you recommend? And I might ask Brian if he has further comments after Brian, you tackle that one.
It really kind of depends on what you're going for as a whole. So I personally really like the page because it's more of a community thing. But if you feel like you're going to be able to use, or I like the group because it's more of a community thing. But if you feel like you're going to be able to go out there and make comments on other people's pages and you want to be represented as your club, then I would say go with the page, or even do both and kind of tackle it both ways. It really just kind of comes down to how you want to be presented and how you want to bring yourself out there.
Okay, thank you. Brian, anything from your experience that you want to add about the distinction or recommendations on pages versus groups?
I really like using it as a page, and like you had mentioned, being able to interact with other pages representing Verona Lions Club or representing the district club page. So for me, I can not only share all of these interactions with sponsors and whatnot, but if one of our sponsors has something coming up, I can share that as the Lions Club and promote them as well, because they're one of our community partners. So they help us, we want to help them. And I can go in and make their circle bigger by liking pages, posts as the Verona Lions Club page instead of just coming from me.
Okay. Thank you. And Richard, I noticed on the one post that you shared from the school where they had tagged both your page and your group. Are you finding that people who are liking or following you tend to follow both, or is there a chance people get confused between them, between the group and the page? Or what's your experience or recommendation in that regard?
I use groups to talk to Lions. I use pages to talk to my community.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a helpful snapshot for some of our Lions to consider. Brian, I'm going to come back to you on another question. Another unique aspect with the pages is that you can set up events, which we can't do in groups. Do you notice that there is better exposure or engagement with posts or events when you use events?
It really depends on the event, and it depends on the buy-in. If you can get a post rolling, a post can just take off by itself. But if you have buy-in, especially if you are working with community partners, you invite them to help co-host your event. You link them to the event as well. The example I'll use is one that we did for a drive-through meal plan, a dinner where basically you come through a drive-through, you have a menu of preset food from multiple vendors at a specific location, and our Lions Club members were there working the credit card and running the orders to the cars. But it was co-hosted by the venue and by all of the vendors. So we had 6 different groups all engaging in this one event and promoting this one specific event. And if this was just a post from our page, it wouldn't have reached the numbers that it reached. We ended up having 4,000 people see this event page because we had the buy-in from all the other parties involved.
Thank you. I think as a follow-up, a question just came in from Lion Dawn. We currently only have a group page. Should we start over with an actual Facebook page?
I wouldn't look at it as starting over, but it's something that you could definitely start integrating and start using as a way to get people into the group. That a lot of times the first stop is the page, and then people start going down the rabbit hole and they start finding the information. And when there's more interaction in the group, they come to the group coming from the page.
All right, thank you. I think both Richard and Brian mentioned the sharing with other community groups or putting either posts and events into community groups as one way to help spread the word beyond just our environment. And I appreciate you sharing that tip. We've recently found a couple of those groups within my local community that we've started getting the word out about. And it makes a big difference. Let's see, Lion Richard, you had some great photos that you shared in your examples, and there were several questions that came in asking, particularly with the use of children and some of the vision screening that you had, but I guess this would also apply to other members of the public, in whether you need to have some type of release or permission, or if your club had gotten those when when the photos were taken to use for Facebook or other public uses like that?
Sure. Taking photographs, I always try to use good sense and be polite and be respectful. And I don't want to take someone's photo if they're not interested. I'll always ask the question. With children, obviously, I don't ask the children the question. We take most of our photos in schools. I ask the school administrators, may I take photos? And the answer most of the time is yes. And they'll point out those children that the parents have said. Normally, the schools get parents to sign off, and very few don't sign off, because if you're in band or you're in the football team or whatever, you're going to have your photo taken. So they know the children that the parents don't want their photos taken, and they will tell me in advance, and we'll pull the child out of the photograph.
Thank you. And I know there were some examples where you had the backs of the children. So you saw the face of the person who was doing the photo screening as well. So that's another alternative for Lions when they have those activities. But that is a good point, particularly I know, Brian, you had some photos connected to the local school as well. And the schools often get that permission unique to those type of activities. So thank you for that. A couple of you referenced linking to another page. And the question came through of how you do that. Brianne, we haven't heard from you in the last couple of minutes. Would you like to just provide a quick overview of how you might, when you have a post, you would link to another partner organization or page?
So do you mean like when you're tagging somebody on there?
That's what I understand, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So usually when you're doing that, you can press the @ signal or symbol, and if you start typing, they should come up, and you just click on that, and it should automatically add you. Same with some of the hashtags, if you guys want to start getting into that. I believe on some posts, you're able to actually click the tag photo or icon, apologies, and tag them that way as well.
Okay. And sometimes it does help to know the name or the way the organization's name comes up, because I've tried tagging some and I know they've got a page and it's not coming up, but I don't have it in the words in the right order.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's exact and that you're actually clicking on it too.
So yes, Lion Richard.
In the words of my great mentor, Lion Daniel Marnie Elkins, the greatest words in Lionism are in partnership with. And practically every project we do, certainly every school project we do, we're in partnership with the schools. All the schools have Facebook pages. So you become a stalker. You find out who in the school is managing the Facebook page. Then you send over your page to them. You can send the link on email, or you can try to post it to the page, or you can do whatever it takes to get them over. And they'll do the same thing back again. And what you find yourself doing is becoming 10% of the time posting and 90% of the time sharing. And you can learn a lot of different ways. Tagging is one, sharing is another. There's a number of different ways to do it.
I'm going to now think of you as the professional stalker, Richard, Lion Richard. But thank you. That is a great point. Several of you had talked about analytical data, and there was a question that came through about engagement and whether likes, comments, or shares, if any of you who might have studied the data or have a sense of this, which one helps provide more visibility? If we were going to ask the members of our club to help us with engagement on posts, what should we focus on asking them to do to help raise the visibility of those posts? Anyone that may have studied that?
I think engagements are terribly important. Likes are a really, really key indicator, but sometimes in a large group, like an internal group, and I have to say, I use groups for talking to Lions, and I use the Facebook page for talking to our community. I don't run a Facebook page for Lions. That's a group, my target market are the people who are going to become Lions or that we're going to serve. But in a large Lions group like the Global Lions Forum, we may not get a lot of comments, but we might get 30 or 40 shares. And what that tells me is that a Lion sees something that's of value to them, and they're going to share it to their club Facebook page for their other Lions to see. So that's an interesting indication within a group and for Lions internally.
Great, thank you. One more question because Lion Brienne brought up the hashtags, and that's something that I think is migrating over more from Twitter and Instagram. But can you talk a little bit about what we might want to be on the lookout for with Facebook in particular and hashtags?
Yeah, when you're doing it, make sure that you put we serve. I think that's one of the biggest ones that we have for Lions. Um, if you're able to, you can even start your own hashtag. So for us personally, we had a project about million pennies. And so every project we had with that, you do hashtag million pennies. And that way people can really just, they can look up that specific hashtag and go through and see all the other posts that go on. It's just another way to link a particular group or subject.
Great. Thank you all for sharing your experiences, obviously with the amount of questions that have come in and the engagement that we've had here this evening. This was definitely a topic that our Lions wanted to learn more about. So thank you all for sharing your experiences and your expertise. That is all the time we have for questions now. And so appreciate your all's participation and all the questions that came from everyone. A little commercial promotion here as we wrap up. As part of the 75th anniversary celebration for Lions helping establish the Charter of the United Nations, we're issuing a call to action for Lions to support the partnership by doing what Lions do best, and that's serving. First, we're going to ask you to sign up for this virtual event that will be held on Saturday, October 24th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we're going to ask you to go to another website associated with the UN, and that is onlinevolunteering.org/en. So sign up to volunteer virtually. Go to that website to find virtual volunteering opportunities. Take a picture of yourself volunteering, post that on social media, and we're going to use those hashtags that we just talked about with Live the Mission and We Serve. And then don't forget to report your service in My Lion. And thank you. I just saw that Lion Daniel put the link to that website in the chat box. So go there. And don't forget to subscribe to the Lions Virtual Symposium YouTube channel. Again, it's free and you'll receive notifications when we go live, as well as when the videos from this classroom session and future ones are uploaded. You can also look ahead to the November Lions Virtual Classroom, which is focused on keeping the pride together, where we'll learn tips for member retention. That will be held on Wednesday, November 4th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and registration opens tomorrow. So get your seat soon for Keeping the Pride Together on November 4th. And finally, special thanks as always to our Lions team helping with the production, technical support, and monitoring questions and live feeds. In alphabetical order, we have past Council Chair Jody Burmester, Second Vice District Governor Daniel Marney Elkins, past District Governor Dawn Rice Norton, and Lion Jordan Glass Williams. We could not pull off these events without your behind the scenes efforts, and I am proud to work with you. Until next time, please stay well and be an example of kindness in your community. Thank you for all that you do as Lions.